Ever wonder what really goes on behind the scenes at a year's end? Well, you're about to find out. Join me today for a gratitude-packed, real talk reflection on the roller coaster that was the year of 2025. And get a sneak peek at the big changes coming in 2026. From chart-topping podcast surprises to summits and new ways to grow and learn. This episode is a part thank you, part pep talk. So bring your curiosity and maybe a cozy mug, because it's time to celebrate the wins, face the pivots, and get inspired about what's coming next year. Hey everybody, welcome back. Today's session is going to be a bit different than the sessions that I usually do and the episodes that I usually do, as this is really teeing off the end of live, or should I say new sessions for 2025. This is my gratitude episode. This is where I get very real and kind of do what we all do in our business world, where we do an end of year review. Where did we start? Where have we ended? How do we have to pivot? What do we want to change going into 2026? If you've been around a while, you know I do this. If you're new here, welcome. And I hope this is insightful for you, because this is a chance to peek a little bit behind the curtain of what it is to be self-employed and work in this kind of industry, and understand, just like any job and anywhere, there are pros and cons to everything that we do. So we're going to kick it off with, I want to reflect on some of the challenges. I know I've heard it from my clients, I've heard it from peers. This year has been incredibly challenging across various industries, across various leader levels. I don't know a single person that hasn't been impacted in some way, shape, or form in some way. Personally, I can tell you Doge had a pretty significant impact on my business. I am outside of the DMV. A lot of my clients were government-based and government contracts. Those disappeared pretty quickly in the spring. As a result, it made me have to rethink what I was doing, how I was doing it, as many other small businesses had to do this year. So whether it was Doge, whether it was tariffs, whatever it possibly was, I don't know a single person who wasn't sitting down and having to do some serious, honest reflection about what they did, how they did it, what would work going forward, what wouldn't go working forward. And the truth was, there were a lot of really dark, challenging days. And that's why I like to say, when people find out that I work for myself, I usually get the overwhelming, oh, that's such a dream thing. It is, until things don't work the way you want them to. And then suddenly you realize you're a team of one. I like to call it, on days that are hard, I call it the echo chamber of one, which is why your network is so important and the people who you surround yourself with are so important. Because some days it can feel like it's just you and that you're not showing up, there's something you're doing wrong, when the reality is the world around us is fundamentally changing. And we have to be brave enough and flexible enough and courageous enough to make changes that might push us out of our comfort zone and might actually be the best thing, even though it doesn't feel like the best thing in the moment. Obviously, I'm still here. So there's been some pivots, which we're going to talk about in a few minutes. But that, what I would say, has probably been the biggest challenge, is I've had to really rethink what I'm doing, how am I doing it? And most importantly, what do you guys need? What does my audience need in order to feel that their time is worthy, their attention and their time, which is your most precious resource, is you, that I'm worthy of some of that. And which leads me to a huge win this year, which is this podcast. I want to be very clear. I never, ever, ever underestimate how privileged I am to have you listen. And I want you to know, as a result, never underestimate how your one download of someone's podcast can make a difference, especially to someone who has a small business. Again, this year was incredibly challenging, but for some reason, my podcast actually did incredibly well. I have been consistently ranking in various countries, not the US, ironically, but in other countries. And I'm specifically looking at you, Australia and New Zealand and Germany, the Solomon Islands. I don't know who you are. Seriously, I have no idea who you are, but I truly, genuinely wish you would reach out to me. I would love to know who you are because you guys are listening in big numbers, which is so incredibly overwhelming and so incredibly humbling. And on days that were really difficult, knowing that there were people out there who valued what I was doing absolutely made a difference for me. So I want to say thank you. Also, it helped me understand that there was still value in what I was doing, and this was an avenue that was really important for me to create good content for you and to figure out what actually you needed to hear and you most needed to learn. And as a result, I think that is helping show up in more numbers and how I continue to hit country charts that I haven't been on before. So thank you. And thank you for encouraging me because ultimately I'm still wanting to show up and be a better host for you, get better at my interviewing skills and my support skills. You make me want to be better for you. And I thank you for that. Now, because I know there are people out there who are listening, and I know that this content is still bringing some kind of something for you, some kind of value, you're learning something, there's a need for it, basically. It led me to the idea of the summit, which, if you've been listening for the last couple weeks, if you're on my newsletter, you've been seeing it, is I am incredibly proud to be able to offer a multi-day event that allows people to learn in a way that meets them where they are. And I'm completely humbled that when I reached out to my network and to a group of people that I thought could bring something really special to this first time event for me, they said yes. And most importantly, when I was emphatic that one thing that was really critical for me was to create an option where people could watch for free because I know money is tight. I know training budgets are gone. I'm hearing these things across industries. I'm hearing it across geographies that money is getting tighter and tighter, yet the need for development is still there. So I wanted to create a free option. And the people who signed up to be a part of this summit unequivocally, enthusiastically said yes. And I think that it's important you know that this isn't the people who are attending and who are going to be providing great value are all doing this because very similar to me, they see a need and they want to help fill that gap in whatever way they can. And ultimately, my goal is always is understanding when there is a problem and there's always a solution somewhere for someone. And the reality is how I approach a problem may not be what you need. It may not be the right solution for you, but goodness gracious, I know a ton of other people that have different kinds of solutions. So how do I get your puzzle piece of a problem with the right puzzle piece of a solution? So to me, it's just all a big puzzle. And if I can bring people together that provide different kinds of solutions for the same kinds of problems, there's going to be a fit somewhere in there for you and your situation. Because ultimately, what we're trying to do is create a space so that we can all just be a little bit better tomorrow. The challenges aren't going to magically go away. I wish I could say that we're all going to give you this big, easy button and we're going to just make life so much better tomorrow. But the reality is, everything is usually incremental. And it's how can we help you show up better every single day and have ideas of things to try when what you've been trying maybe hasn't been working. And that's okay. The other thing that I am going to be launching in 2026 is, and if you're participating in the summit, which I highly encourage you to do, link is in the show notes, or if you're watching this live, there's a little QR code, click it. But if you attend this summit, there's going to be a special offer for the Leader Learning Lab that I'm offering next year. And thanks to those, there's a small group of people who've been helping pilot this concept this year and have helped me refine how to do this in a way that again meets you where you are. It's going to be something like a small LMS, or a learning management system. For those of you who are not familiar with that acronym, think of it as development focused on different leadership skills or challenges. And so every month there's going to be a leadership focus. There's office hours with me where you can come and we can then start to figure out how to tailor that resource, that tool that we discuss in each month for something that works for you and your situation. So it's kind of like coaching, consulting light for your situation, but it's in a group. So you're going to have the ability to meet other leaders who are similar to you. You're going to have the access to a tremendous leader development library. And importantly, you'll have access to me to ask questions that will help tailor solutions for your situation. If you are not on my newsletter, I'd highly recommend getting on it, because again, those who get my newsletter, those who come to the summit, there are going to be special early bird options for being some kind of price reductions in order to join the lab. And the important part here is I want to be very specific about this, is none of this is a bank breaker. I am very intentional going into 2026 of how can I help you continue to develop in the way you want to, in the way you need to, in a forum that works for you and a price point that works for you. Until we can kind of navigate this chaotic economy that we're currently in, I really want to make sure that I'm supporting you in the absolute best ways humanly possible. So no matter where you're joining us, whether it is Dallas, Texas, New Orleans, Lafayette, Frankfurt, Germany, Sydney, New South Wales, wherever you are coming from right now, I simply, again, want to say thank you for being a part of this journey this year. I never take you for granted, ever. When I am coming and sitting in front of this mic and recording sessions, I never take you for granted. I hope I am creating things that are meaningful for you and still informative for you. You can always reach out to me. I get my mail. I don't have an assistant who's screening anything. So if you want to email me, please do. And I truly hope that I see you at the summit. I truly hope that I see you in the upcoming membership next year. And at minimum, I hope I still have your ears and eyes come 2026, because there's a lot of fun stuff coming. Now, before I close, I just want to let you know what's going to come for the rest of this year. First and foremost, you're going to have podcast episodes, but we're going to be doing a best of rebroadcast of some of the really exciting speakers that are going to be in the summit. So many of the people who are participating in the summit have been on the show. So come December and even some in January, you're going to be hearing either rebroadcasts of the amazing people who are going to be attending the summit, and then an opportunity, if it might be new to you or a refresh to you, but they're amazing. They're all brilliant. They're so brilliant. Some of these people I'm so privileged and grateful that they think I'm cool enough to be in their crew. So give them a listen. And like I said, we have some new ones coming in January, which I'm really excited about. Again, going to be really focused on giving you exposure. I want you to be able to have a sample of what you're going to get if you come and participate in the summit and get to see how brilliant these people really actually are. All right, everyone. I want to say I am grateful for you. Happy holidays. And I'm just covering all of them because this is my last live, episode for 2025. Wherever you are, whatever you celebrate, I hope that you find a moment to find some peace, some calm, some quiet. Take care of yourself, spend time with people you love, and remember that no matter how dark the days can get, the light does come back. I promise. The sun rises again tomorrow. So just keep going. All right, until 2026, I cannot wait to see you there. Hey, quick announcement. I'm hosting a 3-day virtual leadership summit called Navigating Uncertainty from January 25th through 27th in 2026. 21 expert speakers are going to cover strategic leadership, team building, operational excellence, and leading through change. Best part? It's completely free if you watch live. However, if you want lifetime access to the replays and extra speaker resources, grab the All Access Pass for just $97. Head to the website in the show notes and register now. Trust me, you don't want to miss this.